Hey folks, this is Picohan on the North American server, and this is the Tier 2 Premium Japanese destroyer, the Tachibana. So this replay is actually somewhat relevant for once. On the North American server, and maybe on the other servers as well, they are letting people earn the Tachibana Lima for the low price of just 15 ranked or random wins. This replay is of the vanilla Tachibana, but the Lima is basically identical except for the name and the camo. The Lima was originally given out as part of graphics card bundles, but apparently decided that now they could give it out or let people earn it. I say it's a low price because Wargaming originally let people earn the vanilla Tachibana, but it was something to the tune of 70,000 base XP net. If you're an average player with, say, a 50% win rate, 15 wins should be only 30 games. The 70,000 base XP would have been a lot more, so that's why it's a low price. Being Japanese, you would think the Tachibana is a torpedo boat, but no, this is much more of a gunboat, akin to low to mid-tier American destroyers. So you use your guns, you use islands for cover, you use smoke for cover, and you just pew away. Also, like the mid to upper tier American destroyers, the shell travel speed for the Tachibana is very slow. It takes 10 seconds for a shell to get to 8 kilometers, compared to something like a Farragut, where it takes 9 seconds to go to 10 kilometers. You'll see me under lead in this video a lot. Now, this game is on the map Archipelago. It is a standard battle, and a shout out to Bremen in another Tachibana, and Legion of Boom in an Umikaze. As usual for standard battles, there's no reason to be too aggressive in the beginning. I camped the island till the Wakatake decided to try to push, and then I started falling back while shooting at the Wakatake. This is honestly a pretty bad move on his part. He's pushing this space where he can't easily get out, and he's gonna just YOLO torp the St. Louis, but you shouldn't expect to be able to do that, especially at higher tiers. You'll see that I launched some torps at the Wakatake. Those were probably unnecessary. The torps on this ship are 2x2 centerline, and they reload very quickly, but they are very short ranged at 5 kilometers, and also very slow at something like 45 knots. That being said, the concealment of the Tachibana, the max concealment, is, I believe, the best in the game at 4.7 or something like that, and you have a 300 meter stealth torping buffer, but a lot of times, because of how slow and how low the torp density is, you're better off just using the guns. I could have probably finished that Wakatake 1 or 2 salvos earlier if I didn't bother with the torps. You'll notice that against that Chikuma, we got a lot of shatters. That's because the Tachibana also has, I think, the lowest gun caliber in the game at 76 millimeters. That means at the standard 1/6 penetration for HE, you only have 12 millimeters of penetration, and that's, well, that's not the belt of the Chikuma for sure.
Torpedoes, direct front.
I'm trying to be diligent about staying near islands for cover rather than using the smoke. The Tachibana is not a very good open water ship despite the small stealth torping buffer, and that's because it's also very slow. At 30 knots, I think it's the slowest destroyer in the game, and this means that if, say, you smoke up in open water and you start trying to farm people, it's very easy for people to get too close and for you to not be able to disengage. That coupled with the low health pool, again, I think one of the lowest in the game, it makes you have to be very diligent to do that sort of thing. So now working on the Emden here, this is probably one of the best cases to use the torps, not trying to do stealth torping or so on and so forth. You want to actually get closer, much closer than the max range if possible, and launch the torps from around an island or from smoke, etc., etc. This time we do land the torps, and it's a significant amount of damage, so yay torps. The St. Louis is coming up on the other side of the island now, and the torps are already reloaded. The reload is, I believe, close to 20 seconds, and so you can really just keep spamming them if there's enough people trying to approach in a situation like this.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Launched one set at the indicator and one set behind it, anticipating that the St. Louis would maneuver, and it was a good prediction. I also started moving back around the island because slow ship, hard to disengage. Once again, the torps are up, and I'm going to send a set at this battleship and sneak behind my island again.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Coming out from the other side of this island, you'll see the torps are once again already reloaded, and I'm just going to spam another set at the Bellerophon. This captain probably has the torpedo reloading skill, so you shouldn't expect the reload to be quite as fast stock, but like I said, it's still very fast nonetheless. I'm just trying to go wide around the battleship and try to intercept the destroyer over here. But since these torps are reloaded, might as well just send another set. The destroyer gets spotted, and since he's so low, he's basically screwed. We land some torps on the Bellerophon, and this is a really cheeky high caliber because high caliber is supposed to be 40% of the overall HP pool of the other team, but if you looked at this fight, there was like one battleship on each team, so we just need to land a couple torps on him, and that was basically going to be the 40%, especially since the rest of the team was like all destroyers. And so now it's just the Umikaze left over there. This was a pretty strong steamroll. And you can say this is clubbing or whatever, but it's like there's bad players at higher tiers, and there's also other quote-unquote clubbing divisions at lower tier as well. And you could get matched up against a better division. So the definition is fuzzy in my opinion. Approaching the Umikaze, you can see how slow some of those early trajectories were. I launched torps at this guy, but again, this is probably a case where it's a trap. We do have 4 kills, so a Kraken is on the table. But since the Umikaze decided to go that way, away from us, it's much harder for us to hit him than it is for Bremen and Legion 2 over there. And I think someone else is going to secure that kill. Looking at the results, we got a Dev Strike and that cheeky high caliber. We were top of the team with 1100 base XP, getting about above 1000 in tier 2, that's pretty good. The most interesting part is, of course, in the details. We did 18,000 in HE damage, nothing in AP, 36,000 in torpedoes, and basically nothing in fires, despite having set 5. Math says that HE damage equates to about 200 per shell hit, and that's a data point, I suppose. But that's it for the Tachibana, so have a nice day.